Hey there, SkepticalRoot. You may have noticed a change there from my typical Hey There YouTube. That is because I will also be uploading this video to Minds.com. Find me at Minds.com/SkepticalRoot. Link in the description, along with my other links for my other social media profiles and stuff, including my AskFM account, which nobody has ever sent me a message on or has asked me a question on. And that's okay. I've gone through and been answering random questions just for the heck of it. And I have noticed one or two people like them on Twitter, the responses on Twitter from when I've responded to something. So at least somebody sees them sometimes. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the topic of the week, PewDiePie. PewDiePie. I can't do it. And the Wall Street Journal article, which attempted to take him down as an anti-Semite. I will note here that I may use anti-Semite or anti-Semitic and racist or racism in this video. Mainly because, I mean, people have been using that term to refer to what the Wall Street Journal said about him. It could be argued, and has been argued by groups on all sides of this topic, that the Jews are not a race, or the Jews are a race. Most of the videos and repostings that originally are attacking PewDiePie do not call him a racist. They call him an anti-Semite, or making anti-Semitic comments. I, in my head, when I hear that, think racist, and so I do this translation, which I'll try to remember not to do, but if I do that, I don't know why I'm explaining this. You people are adults, I assume. You can probably figure out how those words are interchanged. But I've seen some interesting videos, including one by Liz Reptile, that had a very different take than many of the other ones. I will try to remember to link her video in the description. I didn't bookmark it. I'll have to go look for it again. But most of the videos that I saw specifically were about old media, new media, the Wall Street Journal being jealous of PewDiePie's numbers because he gets 10 or 100 or I don't even know what is a significant portion larger number of views per day than they get. And he's just some guy on the internet who plays games or something like that. I don't know. I'm torn by the idea that they just don't get him, or that this is a deliberate attempt to... What's the word I'd be looking for here? I don't like the word takedown, but discredit PewDiePie in some way. That what they're trying to do is take him down a notch to make either to boost themselves or to level the playing field a bit. And leveling the playing field, honestly, I think is fine. I think calling PewDiePie anti-Semitic is incorrect. I believe that you can make comments that are not kosher, and still not be anti-Semitic. Just like you can say things that some people take offense to and not be a jerk. There is a difference between holding views where, like, none of the stuff that I've seen from the Wall Street Journal video or from the article that I read or the follow-ups or people talking about his response, nobody can point to anything where Felix says, I hate the Jews. In fact, he specifically says that he doesn't hate Jews. He's fine with Jews. And the Wall Street Journal article, or the article, I should say, and the video I giggle every time I see it. The video pulls what I would call an the video pulls what I would call an the video pulls what I would call an why is it so hard to say? She's not really the devil. They tried to pull what I would consider an Anita Sarkeesian and say that because he defends himself and says that he is not these things, the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, says that that can sometimes just be code for saying that you are actually in favor of these things. And I'm sure that that could be true if somebody gets up and says, I gas the Jews, and then says, I'm just kidding about that. I don't really want you to gas the Jews. I'm sure the Jews are fine people. I think saying something like that would certainly, I would agree with the SPLC in that context. In PewDiePie's, and I'm PewDiePie Felix Schellberg, PewDiePie's video, he doesn't come across as being sarcastic. He doesn't come across as being like he seems legitimately upset, irritated, whatever, that people took him to mean those things. The joke was to subscribe to Keemstar, as if Keemstar was saying, like with the two gentlemen with the sign that said "Kill all Jews," or whatever it said. I don't remember the exact phrasing. But the joke was supposed to be subscribe to Keemstar because that's something that, Keemstar says that that's Keemstar's idea. Associating that statement with Keemstar. I don't subscribe to either one of them. I have watched some PewDiePie. I've never watched anything by Keemstar. So I don't know how well they know each other, or if they know each other, or they hate each other, or what. But that was just, I don't know. So in my thinking here about Felix, does the Wall Street Journal, and I'll say the Wall Street Journal, and some parts of the old media, do they just not understand new media? Is that really the problem? Or is there some deliberately deceptive practices on the part of the reporters, or the story creators, content creators, whatever we're going to call them, that is overlooked by the savvy of the editor that allowed it to get published? That's a possibility. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I've certainly considered that when thinking about this story. The authors, writers, content creators, I'll call them content creators. The content creators that made this stuff, somebody had to sit down and find the clips that they could use specifically to support their position. So they had to see things in context, and then deliberately take them out of context and publish them and say, hey, see, look, right here, from this timestamp to this timestamp, PewDiePie says, gas the Jews. See, perfect example, proof positive that he is a racist. Sorry, he's an anti-Semite. And ignoring the context, like the video where he dresses up as a army officer, and people have repeatedly said Nazi officer, and I don't recall green Nazi uniforms. I know the SS wore the brown colors. I thought regular Nazi army regalia was gray for dress. I could be wrong. I mean, they probably wore fatigues like most of everybody else, but I don't. That looks more like Russian infantry that he's wearing, circa 1960s, 70s. Doesn't matter. dressed up in a military uniform watching Hitler speeches. The point of that, of course, and something that they took out of context, was, I'm sure, as you've probably seen a dozen other people talking about his stuff being taken out of context to show that he's anti-Semitic, because the media wants to take him down or something like that. And I wonder, is it deliberately malicious? Is this designed to take him down because they don't understand him, or because they hate him, or because they need to feel, they're little people that need to feel big? I don't know. I wonder too if this is the argument that I have with the new media, old media stuff. Is this like young Earth creationists talking about evolution, or in the case of Betsy DeVos, homeschoolers talking about public education, where they don't have experience with the thing that they are trying to criticize, and so they throw out some things from people who probably know better, and say, well, look here. Here's the thing that you guys that are so entrenched in the system or something don't understand. Or, hey, you may not know about this thing, so let's talk about this in this totally obscure and incorrect context. But it sounds good. If you just watched the Wall Street Journal video, which I'll have linked down in the description, along with several other articles from news organizations, by the way, which I think should know better, but it doesn't surprise me that they don't know better, or that they did this, I should say, including Kotaku and The Verge, based on their experience, or based on my experience of their handling of Gamergate. But be that as it may. Is this the same type of thing? Is this young Earth creationists telling us that all animals came from kinds and things like that? Is that what the Wall Street Journal is doing? Are they making the kinds argument here? I don't know. I don't want to attribute malice where there may be none. So I don't want to say deliberately, I don't want to say specifically that the Wall Street Journal publishing this article against PewDiePie is specifically malicious from the Wall Street Journal's perspective. It could be. And at least one of the authors, probably all three of them, probably did this deliberately with malicious intent. I can't imagine how else it could have happened where they just didn't know better, because that doesn't make any sense. They had to have had malicious intent and put this stuff forward because of that. And that's wrong. It's not unsurprising, but it's wrong. And I think when we hold news organizations accountable, I think we need to look at that closely. It could have been the editor that approved it, but it could be the editor who doesn't know better. The editor that said, okay, run with this story, doesn't understand the internet. Maybe he is the young Earth creationist who's heard the arguments and said, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But from being told by people who do know better, who just want to get your money, the Kent Hovens of the world, who may or may not be a true believer. I lean more towards Eric Hovind being the one that doesn't understand any of that stuff, but no, Eric knows. Kent believes, I think Eric just going along with what Dad said. But that's I'm not going to get into the Hovind family politics. I'm talking about PewDiePie because they're not related at all. I mean, at least not in this context. So, other than through analogy, which you may have noticed I was using. So I think that's it. Let me know how you think. I don't know. I don't want to say. Honestly, I don't I don't want to have a conversation about whether or not PewDiePie is or is not anti-Semitic. I'm telling you, from my perspective, he is not. I'm more than willing to have a conversation about it if you think he is, but you're not going to change my position. Get that out of there right away. Not that I think I'm going to have a lot of conversation about this anyway, but let me know what you think the media's role in all this is. Is the media following blindly, especially the newer media like the Wall Street Journal, not the Wall Street, the Verge, or Kotaku, for example? Are they trying to legitimize their stance by saying, oh, look, a regular publication published a story and got PewDiePie kicked off of his YouTube Roadshow and let go from Maker Studios? Which I think, well, Liz Reptile did a video on it. I'll link in the description. Now I'm going to have to, because I think I've said that twice now in this video. If I haven't, that's because I've shot 3 or 4 times in this video, trying to do this all in one take. So that's it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Somebody's got to have to some thought about this. Unless anything else comes up, I don't think that I'll talk about this again. I don't think PewDiePie is anti-Semitic. I think that all of his stuff was taken out of context. And yes, context matters. If you think context doesn't matter, then you're probably an idiot. So, and I would say that because then you'd have to be saying people like Sarah Silverman, who went on, I don't remember the night, one of those later shows, dressed up as Hitler as a joke. Then that context doesn't. Then the Jewish woman Sarah Silverman would be a Nazi sympathizer. So, thanks for watching. Goodbye, and hello, as always.
If it doesn't,